What is up, y'all? Welcome to another video. I'm gonna try titling this video "Choose Peace." I say try because I just recorded a video and I went completely off topic. So we'll see how this one goes. But choosing peace is a lot more, closer to the truth, you could say, than you may think it is. Not creating conflicts, not falling for illusions, not getting in your head, living in your head. Anything has to do with the ego. I've talked about the ego multiple times in my videos. If you have any question about it, be sure to hit me up, but I will reference it a lot. Little breakdown, I guess you could say. This ego has been inside of you, clouding your mind, clouding who you are, and it likes to take credit for what's going on around you. It likes to control, it likes to predict, it likes to stay comfortable / survive. And this ego is what ultimately not lets us be in peace. It likes to make us live in our head. It likes to create conflicts. It likes to, whatever else I said not to do. And in this video, I guess I can give you a little breakdown of how you can break down all these ego thoughts, ego reactions, ego limitations, and just choose peace. Choose God's presence. Choose God's infinite intelligence. And yeah, we'll get started. Good, I got a structure. Let's go. So yeah, I explained to you a little bit what the ego is. And yeah, so I guess we can get into a little bit more what the ego does, because, well, I already introduced it, so you don't have to click off this video to learn about it. What I mean when the ego tries to control, it likes to control outcomes. It likes to control what's around you. And in reality, you really can't. You can do your best. I can do my very best to make this video the best possible video of all time, but I can't control how much views it gets, how much likes it gets, how much comments, etc., who converts, anything. And that's what the ego likes to do. It likes to attach itself to outcomes. It likes to attach itself and try to control this and that. And that's what makes us live in our head. That's what the ego loves. It likes to make you live inside your head. But the counterpart of that is just choosing peace, okay? I'm going to continue saying choosing peace to retwine this in your mind, all right? Choosing peace is just letting go. I'm gonna do this video. I'm gonna make it as authentic as possible, good energy, and let go. If it does poor, it does poor. If it does well, it does well. I'm gonna continue showing up every single day and do what I need to do. And choosing peace is controlling what you can control, letting God handle the rest, knowing and having faith that He'll take care of it. And so, there's no need to control. Bam. Ego, number one part, done. Number two, predicting. It likes to try to predict, okay? Let's say you're a salesman, right? And you're about to walk up to this door. And you believe this, once you knock on this door, that person will give you attitude, they'll push you away because of how you look, etc. All those different scenarios that this ego creates in milliseconds, you fall for those illusions. Even though you haven't even knocked on the door, you haven't even got a step close to it, and you're falling for an illusion that's not allowing you to take the steps that you need to take. And, I mean, that's a common problem for these salesmen out here, But for an everyday example, it's just, me going out here and recording. If someone were to walk by and I was scared to record, my ego would predict how I would react and how they would react. It would try to predict how I would react and they would react, and just create a form of this negativity. And that would push me away from recording out here. And you could take this to anything you do in your every single day life, And so, with that, again, choose peace, and just don't listen to those. Don't give those illusions, those scenarios, those fake scenarios, any life. Yes, they might happen, but you also might have a good day. You might also have a good sales day. You might also be able to come out here and be yourself and record and produce good results. So, what world would you rather live in? The one you want or the one you don't want? I think there's a pretty common and obvious answer. And of course, the things that you don't want to happen might happen, but take those things as a challenge. Take those things as something you need to learn from. Don't look at it and be like, why me? Why me? What can you learn from those things? That's what I would take it as. And then number three, survival and comfortability. The ego likes to keep you comfortable. Now, again, the scenario of me trying to predict what might happen, it doesn't like to get out here and be uncomfortable. It would be like, no, just stay in your car or go back home and record at your house. Or it would just tell you, go eat, or just try to keep you comfortable, right? And I think a very important thing that we all should get used to doing is staying uncomfortable, staying in the unknown. Because in the unknown, in the uncomfortable, is where God mostly is available for us, because in the comfortability part, it's covered in the ego. The ego knows exactly what you want and exactly how you like, can predict this and that. But when it's unknown, the ego can't predict. The ego's like, it might freak out, but again, that's when God's right there under you with a firm foundation. And so get out your comfort zone, and choose to have courage, choose to have that faith, that knowingness that God's going to take care of everything. And I really do emphasize that. A lot of people are like, well, I can't really trust God to do this and that. Like, there's no way. But really, just try. Just try. What's the worst going to happen? If you trust God and, everything that you don't want happens, well, then it's happened for a reason. And then, trust me, it's going to just chisel off the parts where everything happens and it's good. Or the desired things that you want. But yeah, so that's the 3 parts. Now, choosing peace, right? Now, there's other things like conflicts. There's biting into illusions. I just talked about this in my other video. When people throw up illusions at you, they're like, man, how are you going to record out here? You're broke. You're never going to make it. You can never be a coach. Old me, like a lot of people can, bite into that. They'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Or I sounded so weird. They could fight back. They give it attention. They give it that life. But when those illusions pop up from other people, just understand it's a reflection of how they feel inside. It's a reflection that they can't go for their goals. They feel scared. They don't feel worthy, and they're just throwing it at you. And so if you fall for those illusions, then you already believe that within. And so this is a good part. If you were to fall into those illusions, stay aware. That's a very key thing I want you to take note of if you are taking notes. Stay aware and take note of these reactions. Take note of these triggers and decipher them. Why is it when he said I was broke that I get so pissed off? Any negative feeling I want you to take note of and try to go down. At least 90% of them. I'm not saying every single one. But 90% of those negative feelings. Go deep. Figure out, why am I getting mad? What am I holding inside? And 99% of the time, if it's against your goals, if against who you want to be, then let go of that. Learn to just flip that story and surrender that story, the old story, to God. And you can get closer and closer to your goal, get closer and closer to who you're meant to be. And so that's an illusion from the external people. Now there's illusions from the ego. The ego is going to throw so many doubts, so many challenges, because it knows what can throw you off. And let's say, again, I used to struggle with this literally for 2-3 weeks ago. I would hate recording in front of people. If anyone ever came next to me, I would just be really scared to record. I would get up, I would turn off my mic, I would put down my camera, say hi maybe, and look around. But now I really can just sit up here and talk. If someone walks by, I say what's up. If they're sitting down, I could continue talking, I just saw someone hanging out their window, jamming. But hey, anyway, but yeah, like, I overcame that, but I'm still gonna get challenged by the ego. The ego's gonna be like, well, what do you think they think about that? Or, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to talk in front of somebody? What if this happens? It tries creating those random scenarios of like, what if they make fun of you? What if they laugh? What if they just give you that disgusting look? It's all of these random scenarios in milliseconds, and your mind, and it throws it up into imagine like a TV. It just throws all those channels up there, and you can either pay attention to those things or just turn it off, And of course, if you pay attention to those things, then you're gonna be too afraid to keep this camera on. And this camera thing, obviously, I'm talking about your goals, the things you want to do, the things you want to pursue. So don't let the ego stop you from doing what you want to do. Don't listen to this head. If it's telling you, don't do it, you're too scared, people care too much, people care what, you care what people think, etc. Step into that unknown and go out there and try. That's what I had to do. I doubt I'd do it, but there's a video, I might put a card, don't care what people think. That was me going out in public, recording in front of everybody in this place, a beautiful place I love to go to. And it was me getting out of my shell. It was me stepping into the uncomfortable place and just doing what I love to do, talk about the truth. And yeah, so it's a big part of this. Stepping into the uncomfortable spot and being okay in there, being still. So yeah, that's choosing peace overall. There could be many things, but I think I gave you a good foundation of how you can choose peace, how you can just let go of what these ego limitations, these ego thoughts, people's other egos, and etc. Now, another important thing I want to mention. The people who do throw illusions, and also your ego, which is, you can classify as your younger self, the baby you, the kid you, the teddy bear inside of you. Trust me, it gets weird. Learn to accept and forgive that ego, that person, and see the little teddy bear, see the little kid inside of them, that they're just scared to pursue what they want to pursue. The old you was scared to pursue what they want to pursue. So all those thoughts it keeps throwing up, you can look at it and take hold of it and just be okay that it's there. Let it be there. Don't fight it. Don't ever fight. I'm not saying don't ever, you're gonna die. I mean, I sometimes fight those things, but do your best not to fight it. Let it be there and just let it go. The more and more energy you put into yourself and not focus on those limitations, those illusions from the ego or from other people, then the less power it has over you. It loses that life. It loses its negative charge, and you gain a positive one, honestly. And you can do what you want to do. Live life how you want to live life. There's nothing to worry about. So yeah, learn to accept, forgive, and still love yourself. Still love that ego. Still love other people's ego, other people, regardless of what they say, regardless of anything. Because one of my favorite creators, YouTubers growing up, Soul Illuminati, if you know him, shout out. I saw this video pop up out of nowhere, and he was saying any hatred towards anyone is just poison within. So don't ever hate anyone. Always love them. Always show love to them, because the more you give, the more you give to yourself. The more love you give to them, the more love you give to yourself. So don't judge them. Don't do this, don't do that. Etc. Like don't send any hate. And just learn to accept and forgive. And you can also decipher that on the other side. If you are the person throwing off illusions, like, man, you're broke. How could you do that? Don't go do that. That's weird. You can take note of that. Hey, why do I think that's weird? Hey, why do I think that's embarrassing? And maybe you think it's embarrassing within for you to do, etc. Be unlimited. Do what you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you what you can or cannot do. Continue growing, continue shining, continue being God's light. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm going to get the heck out of here because it's getting dark and no one's around. So I think it's about to rain. So I'll catch you guys. God bless. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, you can feel free to hit me up on Instagram. I love to talk to you guys. I really do. I love to answer any questions, answer any problems you guys may have. If you want to build a relationship, good. Catch you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I said it 5 times. Bye.